Hello everyone, I am Ravi Kiran of 8th semester Mechanical Branch, BITM College Ballari. Today I am going to give a seminar on Camless engines. First of all, I would like to thank Shekhar sir for providing the guidance and ideas regarding the topic. I'll be giving an introduction about what are Camless engines, how the Camless engine works, what is the overview, what are the advantages, disadvantages, what are the applications, and what is the conclusion. First of all, what is a cam? Cam is an rotating a machine element which gives reciprocating motion to the follower. The motion of the follower is already predetermined and the cam is designed accordingly. The cams are normally placed on a fixed camshaft which are then geared to the crankshaft. As you can see in the diagram, the rotating element is called cam. Moving to the next slide, then comes the question, what are camless engines? First of all, the camless engine are those which uses electromechanical actuators, that is a set of electromagnets placed directly on the wall which replaces the camshaft. This technology makes it possible to optimize the circulation of the gases in the engine from both intake and exhaust more efficient. It gives the valves more flexibility in opening and closing. This also improves fuel consumption and provides clean exhaust gas technology, and it also improves the performance of the engine. Moving to the next slide, how the camless engine works. The first stroke, that is intake stroke. How does the intake stroke takes place? The intake stroke starts when the tip of the rotor passes the intake port and the intake port is exposed to the chamber. The volume of the chamber is close to its minimum. As the rotor moves past the intake port, the volume of the chamber expands, drawing the air-filled mixture into the chamber. When the peak of the rotor passes the intake port, the chamber is sealed off and the compression stroke begins. After the compression stroke, we know that combustion stroke takes place. The combustion stroke takes place by using spark ignition or compression ignition, by which the fuel is ignited and the exhaust gases are produced. Moving to the next slide, here we can see the exhaust stroke. How the exhaust stroke takes place. Once the peak of the rotor passes the exhaust port, the high pressure gases are free to flow out of the exhaust port. As the rotor continues to move, the chamber starts to contract. That is, the size of the exhaust port is reduced. So, forcing the remaining exhaust gases to move out of the chamber. By the time the volume of the chamber is nearly minimum, the peak of the rotor passes the intake port and the cycle repeats. This is how the camless engine works. Then coming to the overview of the camless engines, first of all, what does a camless engine do? The camless engines eliminate the cams, camshafts, and other connected mechanisms. The camless engines uses three components mainly. They are the sensors, electronic control units, and actuators. Those you can see in the block diagram. Moving to the next slide. What does these sensors, electronic control units, and actuators do? The sensors collect the data from the mechanical devices and send the signals to the electronic control unit. These sensors may be various types. Here, some of the sensors used are speed sensor, load sensor, exhaust gas sensor, wall position sensors, and many more. Coming to the electronic control unit, it consists of microprocessors which controls the air fuel mixture, wall positioning, uh, where the valves are actuated, where the valves are located, what wall timing, etc. These are controlled by electronic control unit. These electronic control unit signals actuators. Actuators are the devices which provide moving mechanism to the walls and other components. This is how the camless engine works. Coming to the advantages, there are many advantages. The first one is infinitely variable wall timing. That is, flexible wall timing is available by using camless engines. The second advantage is that we can produce high torque and power. That is about 10 to 15% increase in the torque and power. The next advantage is that the engine life and the durability increases. By using camless engines, we can reduce engine size and weight. By doing so, we can increase the engine performance. The next advantage is that it uses less fuel. That is, fuel consumption is less, and it also produces less harmful gas. That is, decrease in the harmful emissions. These are the most important advantages of using camless engines. Coming to the disadvantages, the first disadvantage is that relatively high cost. That is, the camless engine costs more. The second disadvantage is that it takes power for opening and closing of the walls. That is, the power consumption takes place for opening and closing of the walls. There is a noise and vibration present. The next disadvantage is that we need more sophisticated electronic control units for gentle settling of the walls. These are the some of the disadvantages which we can see in the camless engines. Moving to the applications, camless wall trains using solenoids or magnetic systems are being investigated by BMW and Fiat-like companies. They are being prototyped by Valeo and Ricardo. A recent Fiat 500 car used the camless engine technology only. These are the few of the applications of the camless engines. Moving on to the conclusion. By seeing the working of the camless engines, overview of camless engines, how the intake stroke occurs, exhaust stroke occurs, what are the advantages, disadvantages, and applications, we can conclude that the camless engines are the new emerging technology which is more efficient and can improve the operating conditions of the engines by improving the engine life. Thank you.